fellow global citizens. Do you have the moment to talk about veganism? The truly grassroots vegan revolution needs your help. The climate is changing and it won't stop until we all do what the good grown-ups on the TV tell us to do. If we all don't do exactly what big finance and the smart grown-ups at the UN, IMF, World Bank, big foundations and Fortune 100 say, this poor 16-year-old human shield won't get her future back. This is a real emergency and there is no time to ask questions.
What have you done to change your life? Like you said, you do things that you can do to look yourself in the eye and know you've done enough. What have you done?
I have stopped flying and I have gone vegan. I have a shop stop. It means you don't buy new things unless you absolutely have to.
Oh, hi there. It's Ellen DeGeneres here. I was scrolling through the gram and I noticed that a lot of people are talking about eating less meat, which I think is a fantastic idea. It's a great idea for the planet. It's a great idea for your health. It's a great idea for the animals' health. So eat less meat. Unless you're a vegan and you don't eat meat already, then good for you. So you don't even need to pay attention to this. But for the people who do eat meat, just try to eat less of it. Maybe eat it less, once a week, or none a week. Or just, like if you eat it every night, don't eat it every night. Eat it less than that. 4 nights a week would be okay, but like 3 or 2 nights or just 1 night a week would be the best. Anyway, the point is it's better for you and it's better for the environment and for the animals. Eat less meat. Hashtag eat less meat. Hey, be neat. No meat. Be neat. Eat less meat. Hashtag be neat. Eat less meat. Hashtag bye-bye.
I believe we need to reallocate the world's resources because sharing is crucial. The climate crisis is a battle for solidarity, a battle for human rights and children's rights.
I feel so powerful knowing that Ellen DeGeneres and courageous 16-year-old human shield Greta are also vegan activists saving the planet with me. The UN needs to reallocate all the world's land and resources. The science is clear. The smart adults from science say that the global megacorporations in the World Business Council for Sustainable Development like Bayer Monsanto, Unilever, Cargill, Shell, IKEA, Nestle, in the good philanthropists at the Rockefeller Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation, the World Resources Institute, the IMF and the World Bank will all help reallocate all the world's land and resources and ration us sustainable nutrient-fortified plant-based kibble so we can stop off-gassing toxic CO2 and polluting the world with toxic human babies. The British royal family, close friends of philanthropists Jimmy Savile and Jeffrey Epstein, just want to help us reallocate the world's resources to save us from the climate.
With all of that activism, some might think you'd be exhausted. But look at you and listen to you, you know the secret. That in giving back, in fighting the good fight, it doesn't exhaust you, it energizes you.
This is an emergency and we must do this now.
Climate change is a humanitarian issue, not a political one.
The transnational corporations, banks, and philanthropists like the UN, the royal family, Jimmy Savile, and Jeffrey Epstein need to reallocate the world's resources and feed us nutrient-fortified plant-based kibble to make everything happy and equal. Being vegan is so easy and healthy. I am not a bigot. I will do this for the planet and the children. Let's take a look at vegan YouTube for some recipes for sustainable vegan cuisine we can eat in order to save Mommy Earth from the real credible death threats from the climate.
I'll show you how to do vegan in a food court. Everyone's got a food court in a shopping mall near you. Let's do one here. Let's go.
I am so empowered as a member of this truly grassroots and not corporate-controlled revolution for the animals and the planet against the bigot science deniers who won't obey the good grown-ups on the TV.
Vegan pretzel available here. Okay, now most food courts are pretty much the same, all right? Now first off on the left, sushi. You find any sushi place, they do vegan sushi at every single sushi place. You make sure they don't put mayonnaise or anything that's not vegan, any sort of weird fish stuff on there.
Weird fish stuff and real animal foods are so mean and bad and don't belong on my vegan soy sushi.
Suffocated and stabbed to death, hacked up into pieces to be put in sushi, when you can have vegetables in sushi, tofu in sushi. So many things you can have in sushi that...
There are so many good nice things made of soy that we can have instead of bad, mean, gross, racist real foods.
Why choose rotting dead fish when you can have vegan sushi? Boom, straight away, a vegan box. Most places do a vegan box now. You don't want to eat any murdered fish here. Look, mercury, fish, suffering, death, no point. A vegan box, delicious, look at that one. Really good. You can always get edamame beans as well. A little seaweed salad as well. Or you can ask them to prepare you some vegan sushi. Amazing. Sushi
Animal
is a really
foods
good
so
vegan
gross,
option.
so sad, so bad. Soy replacements so happy, so tolerant, so good.
Sushi place will always look after you. All right, let's go.
It is so much more healthy and sustainable to eat tofu made from mass-produced GMO Monsanto soy grown by some of the extra people in South America living under a puppet government military dictatorship, funded by massive IMF loans given under the condition that all the extra rural people there grow patented GMO soy and corn for export instead of their heritage crops and spray pesticides and herbicides like Roundup on all their soil and devalue their currency, so they become debt slaves and must sell their labor, land, and resources for cheap to the Fortune 100 companies and members of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, who can strip mine it then of their debt slaves, grow industrial soy to ship to China for processing into cheap Roundup fortified tofu kibble they can sell to social engineered, decadent, distracted, narcissistic Westerners who these transnational corporations and banks educated into thinking they're saving the planet by doing exactly what the big investment banks and transnational corporations tell the screens they worship to tell them to do.
You can easily have, instead of tandoori murdered animal, you could have tandoori tofu, tandoori seitan, you know, tandoori whatever other old plant alternative other than pieces of flesh from an animal.
Purchasing this is powerful activism and will help the IMF give sustainable debt to all those extra rural people who grow my cheap food. The World Bank and transnational corporations are helping us help those extra South American and African debt slaves to go green and stop breathing toxic CO2 and killing and eating innocent animals, so we can all move into corporate-controlled total surveillance smart city coffin apartments and pay for our fortified vegan kibble, pharmaceutical drugs, and VR porn with social carbon credits to save the planet from the totally real and not made up #climate crisis.
Vegan, oh wow, oh no, this is veggie. Okay, so they've got it veggie and vegan separated, which is good. These are all the animal body parts that you don't want to be eating. Merry Christmas, not so merry for the animals. Let's have a look here. Oh, eggs are not vegan, obviously. Oh, here, look, avocado and toast. Wow, that looks really nice.
This jittery, effeminate 31-year-old boomer is so inspirational to me as a vegan activist. He is the best at purchasing vegan kibble. I wish everyone could know how good it feels to eat soy and corn-based vegan kibble instead of real animal foods. I do not even miss real animal foods. Real animal foods are mean and gross and not even good. Mass-produced vegan corporate kibble is way healthier and tastier and nicer and make me so happy. If we don't all do this, the climate will keep changing and all the bad things will happen and Bambi and Simba will be murdered every day always.
Any of these cakes vegan? Oh my god, those cookies are.
What you ask for a vegan option offer?
Oh no, that says veggie, not vegan, so I was just seeing that these are vegan.
Only one is option.
Oh wow, oh awesome, yeah, that's cool. Can I just have these, please? Thank you very much, Ta. Bye-bye. Still a little taste test of this soup. Oh my lord. That's amazing. Wow.
What's your view?
I can't think of a better thing for the animal rights movement, to be
Yeah.
honest, bro. I think one of the biggest issues with people going vegan is also the convenience factor.
Yeah.
It's too hard. What am I going to do? This is where I eat. I go to this supermarket, I go to this restaurant, I get this fast food. I'm like, they don't have
I am
vegan
not
stuff
being
there.
used. I am a grassroots activist saving the animals and the planet. I have not been duped.
Beyond Burger in all of their stores, and they advertised it every store I drive past, huge billboards on the highway. I'm like, plant-based meat options, this is amazing. Wow, they're really normalizing it. The convenience factor is through the roof.
Yeah.
Incredible. I'm so
Huge.
happy. Absolutely. And they're selling out of it.
Yeah.
So that's Tim Hortons. They did the same at A&W. They were
Veganism is healthy and rebellious. Animal foods are not necessary. All our ancestors just ate them because the patriarchy and capitalism. 12 bowel movements a day is normal and enjoyable. Soy is a great replacement for everything. Dr. Gregor is not frightening. If we don't all do this, the planet will die. Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide and was working all alone. If I spend more energy on vegan activism, I will stop craving real animal foods and questioning myself.
They go with their vegan friend. The vegan friend suggests, why don't you just try it? Try this. People start seeing, oh, this is delicious, and I feel pretty good that it isn't actually an animal. I don't like causing animal cruelty. I heard these are healthier as well. They're better for the planet too. They have just as much protein.
It's huge.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's huge. They
It
have
is.
millions of dollars in marketing. They have restaurants all over the world. They can reach the mainstream like no other.
They're
you
doing
know?
all the advertising for us,
Yeah.
man. I'm like, thanks for spreading the vegan message for us. I'm so stoked.
But I saw the same people who are emotionally against KFC would happily walk into Starbucks and get the get an oat latte. And I'm like, wait a second.
These vegan activists are mentally and physically healthy and are not sickly effeminate head cases being used by multinational corporations, global banks, and big money foundations to push a transnational resource consolidation agenda.
I want to reach those low-income families that are just eating meat. They never heard of vegan before, and they walk into McDonald's and there's a McVegan there.
Totally.
And they can choose that over the slaughtered, enslaved dairy cow's body that's minced up in the other burgers, you know?
Absolutely, man. And I think that, yes, KFC, they kill so many dead chickens, millions, tens of millions. It's horrific.
Yeah.
But if anyone can change, anyone, slaughterhouse workers change, we change, people change, businesses change too.
And if I was to you can't support KFC, you must only, I just think we're not in a position to have that flexibility to go, you can only buy vegan food from here. We need people buying vegan food from wherever it's available. The world's like, oh God, we need radical change. We need radical change. We need people working from below. We need direct action from above. We need corporations putting on vegan options. We need everything working together.
The money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean... if there's something we are not lacking in this world, it's money. And of course, many people do lack money, but governments and these people in power, they do not lack money.
Eat the kibble, bigots.
Oh, you turn on the light? The red light? Hello, bigots. Hope you guys all have your kibble rations. We are checking your your green passes, making sure you have sufficient carbon credits before entry into the stream. Actually, when you view this stream, you will actually be earning in live real time. You will be earning carbon credits, right? Because this is a carbon neutral, 100% net zero. This stream is 100% net zero. We promise. We offset all the carbon that we emit during this. Every single breath is being counted, right? All this breath that I'm exhaling, destroying Mammy Earth is being counted, right? We're bean counting our breath. And we're making sure that every one of you who is watching, your carbon's going to be offset as well. So this is a guilt-free zone, right? This is a guilt-free zone, except for you people who don't listen, to the good grown-ups on the television screens, who just want to help us. Okay, they're here to help us. I don't know if you guys understand this. Okay, the UN, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, the Extinction Rebellion, the vegan activists, they're all here for the planet, right? You guys don't realize your selfish behavior of being human, not paying enough taxes, of not paying enough for fuel, right? Expecting things like meat to be on the menu. My goodness, how selfish of us. But there are people here to tell us the clear and present danger of the climate crisis and of the animal holocaust, that's happening. It's so real, right? Like it's so real. It's here. It's in front of us, and it's our fault. Animal holocaust, the climate crisis. Guess what? The philanthropists are here to help us. They're here to help. COP26 is coming up in Glasgow, right? All these world leaders, the president of the country that we live in, the president of our home country here in Ecuador, has headed over to Glasgow. And he's going to help the rest of the good grown-ups from the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. He's going to help the good grown-ups from Pfizer, from Bayer Monsanto, from Cargill, who else? From Shell, Michelin, right? All these other member corporations of these little UN offshoot NGO groups like the the WCSD, World Business, the WBCSD, World Business Council for Sustainable Development. Right, all these huge mega corporations, they're going over there to Glasgow, and they're going to help us out, right? We've got clear demands from the totally grassroots activists at the Extinction Rebellion. And just so you know, you can donate to the Extinction Rebellion. You can donate. Other major donors to Extinction Rebellion include Avaz, 360.org. These big, huge, transnational NGOs. And look at these grassroots. Look at this. This is who you're helping. Look at these black people. The blacks love Extinction Rebellion. If there's one thing black people love, it's demanding climate action now. So by doing this, you're helping them. You are helping them. You can alleviate your white guilt right now. Right now, by starving yourself, right? Eat a plant-based diet. Replace real meat that you can produce locally with fake meat that Bill Gates produces in a factory. And then also alleviate that white guilt by just donating to Extinction Rebellion. They have 88 countries that they're hitting. 1,285 groups at the local, regional, and country levels, with 277 upcoming events worldwide. They need your help. I mean, they got plenty of Bill Gates money. They got that Avaz money. They got that 360.org, Bill McKibben money. They get free publicity on the BBC. They get Rolling Stone writing articles about him. They got legions of, I don't even know what to call this. This is some like Children of the Corn level creepiness, right? They have legions of children painting eyeballs on their hands, flying their flags with this rune symbol. What is that? That rune, it's called the Dagaz rune. Do you remember in the film, has anybody seen the movie Midsummer, where that rune is all over the place? That same rune, that same symbol you see in the Extinction Rebellion's logo right there, was on the human sacrifice victim. Oh no, it was on the girl that was the May Queen, right? Who ended up sacrificing her white cis male oppressor boyfriend, who was just a total idiot. She ended up sacrificing him, and his name was Christian in that movie. Do you remember that? That featured this rune in it. We might even just have to do an episode on the symbolism of Extinction Rebellion, the symbolism of the climate activists and the animal activists, who have kind of joined forces over the last couple of years. And isn't this, that intro that you just saw right there, that was made in 2009. I'm sorry, 2019. 2019, that intro was made. Now, there was a video I made in 2019, and I don't have like some magical crystal ball, you know, this amazing magical foresight. No, we've read what these people want to do. We've been warning you that this is what's coming. They want to bring in this carbon credit system, move people into this smart grid economy, and any and every crisis will be used to justify the ends. The desired ends are just more control over us. Right? So it's like, I mean, you've got their Grassroots, yeah, Rolling Stone featured article, Time Magazine, a revolution's evolution inside Extinction Rebellion's attempt to reform its climate activism. You know, Time Magazine and Rolling Stone, oh man, they're just, the system is so scared of these totally grassroots activists. Yeah. And of course, there are a lot of other things happening that these magazines don't cover. A lot of things happening that Rolling Stone and Time Magazine are not going to tell you about. A lot of these things that are happening in the world, a lot of actual meaningful protests that are happening against certain mandates. Yeah, similar to the mandates that these people are going to bring in. In fact, what they want to bring in after like COP26, what they want to bring in response to the so-called climate crisis, these mandates may even be, I mean, you think it's getting bad now? Like these people are trying to completely ruin middle and lower class people's ability to make a living, to produce their own food, to drive their own vehicles. Right? In fact, YouTube recently said that channels that are climate deniers, which we are not. We totally believe that, I mean, climate change is the greatest threat to mankind. This is a global crisis. We need every single government to declare a national emergency. We need a transnational emergency. Yeah, you like that? Transnational. We're very pro-trans here, by the way. Pro-transnational corporations and transnational banks who push these crises on us. While we're on YouTube, we know that we have to be very pro-transnational corporation, and the climate crisis. They say we got to declare an emergency. We need you to declare a climate emergency right now. And if you do this, then we can save the planet, right? If the governments will just declare an emergency, because we know when governments declare emergencies, good things happen, right? Good things happen for people, for the planet, for animals. Just like after back in 2001, those emergency measures that were taken, those were so good for us, you declare an emergency, and you can bypass constitutional rights. You can bypass pretty much any rights that people perceive themselves to have. And this has been done many times. The declaring of a national emergency and the response to the emergency requires sweeping and broad changes in our life, perhaps even rations, right? Remember in World War II, during World War II, I'm gonna pull this article up. You guys are gonna love this one. In World War II in the UK and in the US, there were actually rations, food rations. Check out on my Instagram here. Put up a post of this article from from The Guardian. Joanna Lumley says wartime style rationing could help solve the climate crisis. And look, you guys, you can support urgent climate journalism by supporting The Guardian. The Guardian, who is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, among many other foundations. The Open Philanthropy Project. Yeah, wartime style rationing. I actually posted this article up on my Instagram. You follow me on Instagram. For as long as I'm on Instagram, got me at Primal Edge Health over on Instagram. Look at that. Instagram still growing. Very shadow banned at the moment on Instagram, but still able to grow, still able to reach people because people share the posts. Because the posts are fire over on Instagram. So make sure to follow over there. But yeah, we got actors. She's an actor. Wow. And she knows. She knows what's good for the planet. Right? Look at her standing among all this plastic rubbish. Oh, how terrible. Look at all this plastic everybody's using. You guys use so much plastic. There's barely even enough plastic to fill in her face anymore. Right? There's barely even enough plastic for this celebrity's plastic surgery. Poor Joanna. You guys have to stop using plastic bags because you're hogging it all. You're hogging all that plastic. She needs it for her face. Actor proposes system under which people would have limited points to spend on holidays and luxury items. Oh yeah, we're sure the actor, she totally came up with this idea, right? This must be her grassroots climate activism. That's her totally grassroots climate activism. She just thought of that. What a good idea. And remember, Prince Charles said that we need a Marshall Plan style mobilization to stop the climate crisis. And he said that we need to do this under the branding of the Great Reset, right, in the 2020 Great Reset meeting of the World Economic Forum that was called by Prince Charles. Right? And he said that we need a Marshall Plan globally to stop the climate crisis. And we can use the other crisis to kind of open the door, right? Get your foot in. Get your foot in the door on some of these measures, which we've been saying from the beginning. All the measures that they're rolling out, they're about more control. Tracking and tracing people. Eventual rationing is what they want to move towards. Yeah, so creating supply chain disruptions intentionally to bring about a demand for rationing. Right? And they've been blaming you. They say, oh, no, it's your fault because you bought too much toilet paper. We're going to have to ration toilet paper. Oh, you buy too much meat. There's not enough meat. We're going to have to ration it to you. Oh, but also it saves the planet, so this is good. We'll give you points. Joanna Lumley has suggested that a system of rationing similar to that seen during wartime, under which people would have a limited number of points to spend on holidays or lavish consumer goods. Oh yeah, like what? Like meat? Like essential nutrients? Could eventually help tackle the climate crisis. It's The Guardian. Again, The Guardian, big Bill Gates funding. It's a total propaganda rack. The absolutely fabulous actor, I guess she's on a show, must be called Absolutely Fabulous. I don't know who these freaking people are. Whose long campaign against single-use plastic. Oh, what a brave warrior for the climate. Campaign against single-use plastic, but her face is obviously full of single-use plastic. Said legislation could be the only way to curb the amount of waste produced by the public. These are rough times, and I think there's got to be legislation, she told the Radio Times. That was how the war was. Stuff was rationed. And at some stage, I think we might have to go back to some kind of system of rationing, where you're given a certain number of points, and it's up to you how to spend them. Whether it's buying a bottle of whiskey or flying in an aeroplane. There you go. There you go. So now they're saying the quiet part out loud. The quiet part that I was telling you years ago. Now they're saying it out loud. Look, again, wish I was wrong. And of course, what do they consider lavish things? The things you need to live. The things you need for mobility. Right? The most important nutrients. They consider this lavish extravagances like meat. Right? But these are things that you require for your health. So a big push that we're going to see during Glasgow. Now, whether they can get in this rationing system, that depends on whether they can create enough supply chain disruptions and stop production enough, with various economic warfare models like heavy taxation, like, firing large portions of the population because they don't want to comply with certain things, right? Like purging the workforce. It's possible that they could bring about this rationing much quicker than people believe. And this is why it's so important that we support local resource production. Right? This is why it's so important. This is why what we've been doing the last 11 years since we moved to where we live is trying to work towards producing as much of our own food as possible, right? And the foods that we can produce, being able to source those locally. Yeah, so creating resilient supply chains within our regional communities, right? In our local communities, as local as possible. Now, they're going to hijack all this language and turn it into something like, oh yeah, well, we're going to have regional production of Nestle plant-based fake meat products, yeah? So you'll have your local Costco that you can go get your rations from, and they'll have their 3D printers that use the raw materials that the big factories that are a little bit more on the outskirts can ship them in on their carbon neutral autonomous vehicles. Right? Oh, and if those vehicles are autonomous, we can't have any human drivers on there because that won't be safe, right? You driving your cars isn't safe. Yeah, I mean, we're not that many steps away from these things. And they've got the justification there. But what we have to do is we have to work on producing food locally so we don't all have to produce food, right? We don't all have to produce food. Not everybody wants to, not everybody needs to. Most people don't care to. But at least support local food producers, right? Getting locally produced meat. And storing some food, right? Locally produced animal foods, right? Getting things like, the dehydrator so you can dry meat. Yeah, dry meat will keep for a long time. Even things like salami and stuff like that, those can keep for a very long time. Pemmican, right? We're huge fans of pemmican. You can make that, and it's actually really cheap. You can get tallow. Tallow is really cheap. Right? That's beef fat, and you don't have to keep that in a refrigerator. Right? Like with butter and stuff like that, it'll go bad if it's out of the fridge for too long. Right? You can freeze butter for long periods of time, but non-perishable foods, tallow, fantastic fat source, right? That's just rendered beef fat. You can make that. Yeah, we show you how to make pemmican. Now, you can get like a 5-gallon jug of tallow from companies like US Wellness, or if you go at eatwild.com, right? Got no affiliation with eatwild.com, but you can actually get from your local area. You can search by, I think it's area code or zip code. You can search by your zip code and get locally produced animal foods directly from the producers. This is what we're going to have to move towards. And you can get tallow, or you can get, they call it sebo here, but it's suet. You get suet, and you can render your own tallow, and it's dirt cheap. You get a 5-gallon bucket of tallow. That's like several years worth of fat. That stuff will keep for several years. No refrigeration necessary at all. Right? You dry meat, you grind up the meat, you can use a blender to grind up meat. The way that the pemmican is actually an incredible food, and that's the way they used to do it. Melt down the fat, you render the fat, you pour it over the dried meat, you let it sit, and then you've just got they used to do it in sacks, right? So they hunt the bison, they would use a sack of, what would they use? They use the skin, right? They'd use the skin, they'd dry the skin in the sun, they'd use that sack, they'd render all the fat, pour the fat over the dried powderized meat. They would just hang the meat up, and then they'd powderize it with like a mortar and pestle. Then they'd put it in the sack, and then they'd pour the fat in there, seal the sack, tie it, close it up, and they'd sell that in like 100-pound bags.
That would be a piece.
Right, a piece. They called it a piece of pemmican, and it would weigh 100 pounds. Right, and it'd be like a big square. They'd smash it down into a square and make it to where you could carry it on your back. It was 100 pounds, and they would carry that around everywhere with them. right? So like these are good storable foods and pemmican can last 10 years, even more. They had some. Yeah, they had some that would lasted like 30 years. What happened with World War One?
They have some in museums from World War One because it was the army ration.
Yeah, so they actually used them and experimented with them as military as foods, as like rations in the military. If you read, there's a great book called The Fat of the Land, by Vilhjalmur Stefansson. The Fat of the Land. Sometimes you can get it. There's another title for it. It's the same book, but not by Bread Alone. And the last part of that book. So a lot of people, the last part of that book is the least interesting part, but I actually really enjoy the section on pemmican, which is the second half. So pemmican, you can make that at home. You can buy pemmican as well, but if you make it at home, it's a lot cheaper. Yeah, we actually show you how to make it in our book. There you go. Show for the book here. Right, the Carnivore Cookbook. 0 carb recipes for people who really love animals. We got videos on how to make pemmican as well. Just search pemmican over here. Search pemmican in our video library here on YouTube, and we show you how to make it. It's super easy. It's super easy. We show you how to make it. It's delicious. It keeps for freaking long periods of time, and you can make that at home, right? So get a copy of the book, the Carnivore Cookbook. Check out our pemmican recipes on our website as well. I wish I had an assistant. I wish my assistant wasn't. What are you doing? Weaving. My assistant is over here weaving, or I would have her put our pemmican recipes that you can find on our website. We have pemmican recipes on there, right?
I have so much pemmican.
We have so much pemmican stuff on our website. Look at this. I'm talking about all this stuff. I could just send you guys to the website.
They could do
if only.
primaledgehealth.com/pemmican.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Let me get that. Let me get that URL for you guys. It's primaledgehealth.com/pemmican. Pemmican. We got tons of resources on pemmican here. Boom, ba boom. There you go. We got tons of stuff. We got videos on it. We got lots of stuff on our website about it. There you go. Actually, a lot of the videos are listed on the pemmican section of the website. So I just dropped it in the YouTube chat. If you're watching on YouTube, I will drop it over here in the Rockfin chat as well. Check it out. All right, so storable foods is going to become important. Now, animal foods, crucial for human health. You cannot live on nothing but bread. You can straight up live on meat. I'm not saying everybody should. A lot of people end up having to do like an all-meat diet and get complete remission of all sorts of crazy symptoms from autoimmune stuff. As far as, so I've seen psoriasis, skin issues, IBS, Crohn's. Now, dude, I've seen some of the craziest transformations with a fully carnivorous diet with clients of ours over the years. This stuff is not just something that people are doing to try to lose weight, although it is a great way to lose body fat. A lot of us trying to lose body fat, trying to optimize hormones, trying to improve fertility. Right? Fertility, a major issue right now with so many people. Shouldn't be. Wasn't just a few decades ago when people are eating their traditional diets, which are always based on animal foods, regardless of what continent your ancestors are from. Guess what? Their diet just 50, 60 years ago was based on animal foods. Yeah, so check out the book, The Carnivore Cookbook. There's a link in the description there. They put that link in the description over there on Rockfin as well. Get that link up in the description. But animal foods are crucial. Okay, these plant-based diets that these people are trying to roll out, the plant-based diets that these people are trying to get us to eat and trying to mandate us to eat, these are inherently nutrient deficient, and those nutrient deficiencies lead to terrible health outcomes. Vitamin B12, vitamin K2, the retinol, the fat-soluble form of vitamin A, all the fat-soluble vitamins, in fact, you will be deficient on the plant-based diets that these people want to bring about. Guess what happens when you're deficient in these fat-soluble vitamins? Your central nervous system suffers. In fact, your body deteriorates, including your central nervous system. Massive deterioration of the central nervous system long term in people who are deficient in things like vitamin B12. And supplementation, which these people want to say, oh yeah, you just supplement and just fortify the foods with vitamin B12. No, long-term supplementation does not work. There are countless ex-vegans that we've helped, both with coaching as well as interviewed on our channel on YouTube over there. If you're watching our YouTube, big shout out to you guys. If you're still able to find this channel, which has been in the shadow banned to the shadow realms of YouTube. You got to get the links from us if you want to watch these streams. But you know what? You guys still do. You guys still find these, and you guys share these, and you guys support these, and we appreciate you guys. But we've talked to countless vegans who suffered the consequences of these nutrient deficient diets in their hormonal health, in their children's health, their mental health as well. So these diets these people want to push on us, these nutrient depleted diets that they're going to be pushing at COP26, that these animal rebellion activists are saying we need to force everybody to eat. These diets hurt us. These diets are not good for us. And we see the results. We see the results. And of course, big ag, big tech, big pharma. They're all on board with this stuff, right? Selling you patented GMO foods instead of real foods. Right? This is why these people get free publicity on the BBC. They get free publicity on The Guardian. They get free publicity on CNBC. They get free publicity on all major media. But people who are protesting, other things, right? Protesting their rights being taken away. Not protesting for animal rights, not protesting for giving you animal rights and giving animals human rights, which is what these people are protesting for. No, the ones that are protesting for your rights, no, they get ignored. They get ignored, and these people get free publicity. This is wacky. All right, so anyways, my little intro rant on the what we're about to look at here. We've got a major Cringefest tonight. We're have a little vegan activist watch party. We're getting ready for COP26, and these people are ramping up the activism. Totally grassroots, right? Totally grassroots, and they're just demanding change. And look at this grassroots artwork that they have, the beautiful dystopian artwork, all the aesthetics. Look at this guy. You could tell this guy in front here, he's a serious activist. He's a super serious activist, right? Like, homie's probably got his pronouns up on his name tag there. He's canvassing, yeah. We're gonna check out the Cringefest here, but first of all, we got a shout out to Yon World over there, and everybody who tips on Rockfin. You guys are awesome. You got the Rockfin crew always supporting. Yon World tipped $20. Says, had my first Inquirers class last night. One step closer to the kingdom. You've helped lead me down this path. Thank you, dude. Yon World, that's awesome, man. Yon World, inquiring into orthodoxy. There's so many people now. So many people are realizing just the extent of the silliness of the world and how it doesn't fulfill. Right? Like it does not fulfill. All right, all these activists that you see trying to replace God with themselves, right, elevate themselves in their own mind, this stuff doesn't fulfill. Fake activism. People want truth. We're made to be warriors for the truth, especially men. They're meant to be warriors. We're not meant to be battling fake threats. We're not here to battle the changing climate, right? It's spiritual warfare. So Yon World, what a blessing, man. You guys pray for Yon over there, and I'm hyped for you, my friend. And thank you for the support as well. Really appreciate that. Honored that you think is worthy of supporting. Jakob Weilchenbauer. Tipping $10. Thanks, man. Says, question, do you have any experience with vitamin D3 supplementation, either on yourself or other people? Are there any downsides you know of? You know, look, vitamin D3 is important. Vitamin D is crucial. We make vitamin D in the sun, so getting natural sunlight is really important. You want to get it naturally. Vitamin D is more than just a vitamin. They call it a vitamin. It's actually a hormone. All right, it's crucial for so many processes in the body. It's made out of cholesterol. So a lot of people who are deficient in animal foods, right, they want to suppress their cholesterol levels. They get told by their doctors, they get told by pharmaceutical companies that make tons of money on statins that they should suppress cholesterol levels. Well, guess what vitamin D is made out of? Guess what all your sex steroid hormones are made out of? Vitamin D is made out of sulfated cholesterol when the sunlight hits your skin. All right, these reactions in our body will transform sulfated cholesterol. Right, so sulfur and cholesterol, both important. You get both of those in great quantities in animal foods. Yeah. You transform that into vitamin D when in the natural sunlight, especially about midday. Now, there are times of the year, depending on the latitude that you live in, depending on the place and the time of the year, you might not produce very much vitamin D. So vitamin D can be great to supplement. If you supplement vitamin D, though, there is a caveat, and I'm glad you asked this. If you're supplementing vitamin D, you always want to also use vitamin K2. Vitamin D regulates calcium homeostasis. Okay? Calcium usage, where calcium goes in your body, and what happens to that calcium. Vitamin D plays a crucial role in this, right? All these little things, all these little hormones and stuff in our body, they're signalers. Right? And they transport things as well, and they communicate. Our body's constantly communicating. Your fat cells are constantly communicating. Your fat is an organ. Right? You get too low in fat, you starve yourself, body doesn't work properly. Right? Vitamin D regulates calcium usage. And if you take a lot of vitamin D in absence of vitamin K2, you run the risk of calcifying blood vessels and arteries in your heart. How crazy is that? So, vitamin K2 in MK4 or MK7 format, you want to take that whenever you are supplementing vitamin D. So, there are a lot of companies that make drops with vitamin D and vitamin K2.
primaledgehealth.com/resources.
So, if you go to primaledgehealth.com/resources, you can learn a little bit more about that. All right, so thank you for the question, man. Appreciate that. You guys who are watching on Rockfin, we're going to have to give a big shout out to our supporters here, Jakob and Jan World so far. You guys are the top tippers of the night. You guys are watching on YouTube. Make sure to drop, if you got comments that you want read, questions, you can use the Streamlabs link or go over there to Rockfin, right? Go over there to Rockfin. Later on, we're going to be transferring over there exclusively. You don't have to bite our tongues over there. We can speak what we want. We can say what we want. We can talk about everything we want to talk about. But yeah, vitamin D, kind of want to be careful when you're using vitamin D. This is why getting things in their whole food forms are usually really good. Yeah, so like cod liver oil, stuff like that. Lard. A lot of vitamin D in lard if the animals get sunshine and they're well fed. Now, that's the problem with most pork production. A lot of it's low quality. But this is why, like homesteading, knowing homesteaders, producing your own food, our relatives, a few generations back, right? We don't have to get into like speculation on ancestors thousands of years ago. We're talking just a few generations back. Heart attacks, cancer rates. None of these people had IBS. Right? Like your freaking great-great-great-great-granddaddy didn't have celiacs. Right? He didn't have fibromyalgia. You know why? These autoimmune conditions that we're dealing with now, our tainted food supply, our poor nutrient status, right? our poor mineral intake, lack of things like iodine, lack of things like vitamin B12, folate, vitamin A. These things stunt our growth. In fact, I'm going to do a stream about and looking, there's this video I got kind of inspired by, there's a clip of a video of just like some high school students from 1987. And it's amazing to look. They look like adults now, right? Our culture is so dumbed down. And children in high schools in the late 1980s looked as mature as, most late 20s and early 30s people nowadays. And you look at high school children nowadays, the body composition, the general health, their social health, I guess you would call it. All of these things, like their human interaction skills, completely different. This is all by design. It's all by design. And diet plays a huge part in this. Right? Diet plays a massive part in this. So proper nutrient intake, getting in enough animal foods, but then also, they're intelligently using certain plants and herbs. This is something that people have been doing forever. Right? The testosterone levels of the average male now are so freaking low, and every year they keep pushing the normal testosterone range down lower and lower, while they're telling you lower your cholesterol, while they're pushing the cholesterol range that they say is ideal lower and lower as well. Remember, testosterone, progesterone, sex steroid hormones are made from cholesterol. But no, we got to suppress that. We got to destroy that. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna check out our friends, our activist friends over here. Hope you guys enjoy some of that advice. Make sure to hit up our website through that link in the I'll put that link in the chat over here as well. primaledgehealth.com/Pemmican. And then primaledgehealth.com/resources. Get that link in the chat. All right. Where is it? All right. Anyways. Let's go back. Here we go. Let's check out our activist friends. Let's see what the activists are doing. All right. Because they just want us to be healthy. They want the planet to be healthy. And there's an emergency, you guys. There's an animal holocaust. There's a climate emergency. This is how we're going to save it. This is what we do. When there's a real emergency, this is how we behave. We make slickly edited videos that 100 people will see.
I think it's really amazing to see so many people coming
I can't hear you, chick.
together to speak up for animals. It's been, a long time since we've been able to have so many people come together. Because of the pandemic, it really put a pause on activism in a lot of ways. So it's really inspiring to see so many people finally coming out and coming together to advocate for the animals.
It's so inspiring. It's really inspiring to see everybody coming out and just like standing around for the animals. Look at these dudes, they can't even stand up. Like, they're so bored. You got a drum. You got some signs that people handed out to you. You got your shirts that people gave you for free. Oh, you're all wearing pink. They handed out pink scarves to everyone. This is how stoked they are. They can't even, they're not even.
Really inspiring to see so many people finally coming out and coming together to advocate for the animals.
Animal liberation now. Yeah. Look at this. Look at all this equipment they bring out. Look how well funded this is. Look at all these cameras. They're all just stunting for the cameras too. For the animals.
I actually joined the animal rights movement when I was 11 years old, so about 8 years ago. I found founding my nonprofit organization called Happy Head Animal Sanctuary, and my nonprofit San Luis Obispo, California. We rescue animals from factory farms and slaughterhouses and give them the lives that they deserve. We give them veterinary care.
We can't hear you. I'm sorry, we can't hear you, but we can see that none of you. Look at this. Look at the liveliness in this crowd.
And make sure that they're happy and comfortable.
Yay. Why would you put that clip in there? This chick just like vacantly zoning out. We're just so happy that like all these activists could like come out here, and we're just doing this for the animals, and we're just really glad that all these people could come out and like just like stand around and dissociate for the animals and like pose for some pictures and share our pronouns and all just like stand around in a dissociative state like this little Asian girl who has no idea where she is.
When do we want it? When I was 12, I joined Direct Action Everywhere and started doing more direct action. Where I started doing protests and marches and undercover investigations and open rescues, walking around onto factory farms and slaughterhouses and saving these animals. Every single person can change the world by just taking action and speaking.
That's them being told to look at the excitement. Them being told, okay, look, act excited, clap. Yay!
By just taking action and speaking up. We just have to leave our comfort zones behind and take action for these animals. Speak up, speak loudly, and we can make a huge difference.
Dang, I'm inspired. I'm inspired. So that was Animal Rebellion. They're an offshoot of the Extinction Rebellion. And here you go. There we go. COP26. Invest in a plant-based future. Look at that. Oh, the police just let him climb up this building. How nice are the police? Imagine if the banner said, if the banner gave, I don't, you can't even say it on YouTube, right? Imagine if the banner had the comparative death rates of those boosted and those unboosted, those waxed and unwaxed. No, but like, look, oh yeah, we can just go up here. Look at, they have safety equipment all over the place too. This is totally grassroots, guys. Cops just stand by, scale this building, put up a sign. This is how you change the world. You tell the UN and global corporations to invest in a plant-based future. We want a plant-based future. When do we want a plant-based future? When do we want it? Now? But in the future? What do we want? Plant-based food system. When do we want it? Whenever the corporations say we should want it. Come on. Like, this is pathetic. Here we've got Extinction Rebellion activists. This is just a few days ago, a couple weeks ago. Attach themselves to vehicles. There's not much sound on here. Boomers holding signs.
All over the planet, people are losing their way of life, their environment, and their lives. We only have a few years left to avert the worst effects of the climate crisis.
Reading a script. Yeah, we're changing the world. Look, and who's designing these? Look at this boomer. Is that boomer wearing an adult diaper? Dude's got an adult diaper on the outside of his pants, like he's playing superhero. What do we want? So they like put their hands in this metal tube, and you can't get it out. Who's designing these actions, right? What are you even demanding? What do they even want? Netherlands, The Hague. Extinction Rebellion activists block streets in the center of The Hague on Monday, attaching themselves to vehicles and gluing to the ground during sit-ins. Police officers used special equipment to loosen the glue and detach people from the vehicles, with some activists seen being carried away. The protest was held as part of a planned demonstration ahead of the upcoming COP26 climate conference, scheduled for October 31st in Glasgow. News Update Live. Free publicity from all major media. All right, like they make articles on BBC about all this stuff. And what are their demands? Act now. Take action. Tax us more, right? They don't have any specific demands except climate action now, right? Oh, we want net zero. We want net zero carbon emissions. And who actually is writing these policies? It's these global corporations. It's the global banking system. It's the IMF. It's the World Bank. It's the Bank of International Settlements. It's the Federal Reserve. It's a European bank. Right? Like, this is why Christine Lagarde said, we want to earmark $13 trillion of pension funds and use that for sustainable finance to bring in the new green system. Right? They want to take those pension funds, use those to bring about this mandatory electric car grid where everything's got to be, the electric cars, of course, will eventually be so-called autonomous, which means, it doesn't mean autonomous, it just means you don't get to drive them. It means they're like trains. You're only going to ride on trains from now on in the systems that they want to bring about. It's not autonomous at all. It's all marketing. They want to bring about carbon taxes, these stupid carbon capture schemes where these huge corporations will own these giant carbon capture factories. Right? It sounds like a joke, but this is real. Let's see. I got some of these pulled up here. Bill Gates promoting carbon capture. Elon Musk offering a $100 million prize for carbon capture innovation. And Bill Gates funding these giant carbon capture plants where these are basically big old smokestacks that they say are going to pull carbon from the air and then put it underground. It's going to put it underground. It's going to lock that carbon up. And guess what? In the water underground. So the carbon capture schemes involve, you can't touch the water that's underground in those aquifers as well. So they want to decrease your ability to use water because they'll say, oh no, we're putting the carbon underground. And if you want to eat meat, you're going to have to offset those carbon and methane emissions, right, with doing other things. Now, it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's so corny. But this is what these people want to try to bring about. And this is what they're going to be talking about at COP26. They're going to be talking about carbon credits, right? Offering a global carbon trading, right? They want to create this huge global economy based on social credits, carbon credits, right? Which is behavioral cybernetic control grid, all right? Based on your behavior, and algorithms from big tech will calculate like exactly how much carbon you use. It's so dumb. I mean, it's so fake. But they say this is good. They say this is good. All right, so you have the Insulate Britain protesters, all the Insulate Britain. We want you to insulate all the houses in Britain. We want mass. This is legitimate. It sounds so dumb. This video right here. This genius boomer glued his face to the street, super glued his head to the pavement. Yeah. And guess why? Because Insulate Britain says that the British government has to give in to their demands and stop climate change by having a massive government spending program to completely change all the housing, right? And put special green insulation in all of them so that people don't have to use heaters and fireplaces. And then you just tell people they can't use heaters and fireplaces. All right, so they want this green infrastructure because of climate change. We're about to watch this clip right now. This is so absurd. There you go.
To cut my hair by my temple.
Right.
Because my face was totally glued.
Right.
But now I've worked most of that off. But the hair is still stuck, so with these scissors I'm trying to cut the hair.
Do you regret the gluing? Are you
yeah, it's not one of my better moves. Yes.
Right.
But it was to sort of make a statement that things are fairly critical.
Yes.
So I was wanting to have an extreme action to reflect the extreme nature of the emergency that we're facing.
Yeah. So I glued my face to the pavement because the climate's changing, and I want the government to give massive contracts to all these people that are funding my activism, so that they can take that money and force green insulation on all the houses because the climate's changing. Insulate Britain.
To reflect the extreme nature of the emergency that we're facing.
It's an emergency.
You'll see it.
Got a good photo up there. Good photo up there. Insulate Britain. We gotta insulate Britain. This is this other clip of Insulate Britain. How can you be so selfish? People try to like drive to work. All boomers. We love our boomers, but not the best activists, not the best track record. These plastic signs. We're fighting the climate crisis by holding up plastic signs. Arrests were made, but activists were soon released due to loopholes. And of course they were released. They're always released. The activists are always released. And they call them activists. They don't call them idiots. They don't call them useful idiots. No, the activists. These are activists, you guys. Insulate Britain, which is advocating for UK homes to be insulated, shocked the public when its members ran in front of moving traffic.
I think the police have been increasingly stepping up their action, but as we've seen,
like 8 of them.
Sometimes it's the same protesters going back a day or two later and protesting again. So the powers don't allow for the police to hold people for more than 24 hours and that is creating a problem. Last night, yesterday, I instructed National Highways, formerly Highways England, to seek an injunction, which was granted last night, and will become effective later today.
What's the point of feeding them? I mean, what are you talking about? I've got to feed my kids now.
The police just do nothing. Oh, look at them. They finally drag him out of the way. Just want to try to get to the hospital for her sick mother. The cops do nothing.
Get to work and they can't because there are people stuck to the road with banners and posters and come on, Boris Johnson, you've got to sort this out.
Look, I mean, there are some people, Nick, who call those individuals legitimate protesters.
Are they?
They're not. I think they're irresponsible crusties who are basically trying to stop people going about their days.
I'm so sick of this guy's face and voice.
To the economy.
And it is because of our commitment
Such a blowhard.
to putting the needs of the hard-working
Build
and
back
silent
better.
majority first that I will not tolerate the so-called eco-warriors trampling over our way of life and draining police resources.
Guess what? The eco-warriors are being funded to push this Build Back Better crap. Activist branded irresponsible crusties by PM are committed to curtailing domestic energy waste. This is what a scam. They're demanding that the government take action and insulate people's homes to cut domestic energy waste because of the climate change. Who's going to get those contracts? Who's going to get those contracts? They want their government to spend billions of dollars and then force people to purchase this insulation, or just, how are they going to do this? But the BBC, free publicity, it's calling for a national program to ensure homes are insulated to be low energy by 2030. Oh, what a surprise, by 2030. By 2030, man. 2030 is just, there's so much happening by 2030. How nice. Insulate Britain. Right, but this is the things that these people are promoting and demanding. This is what it is. Oh, we want to insulate Britain. We want net zero. We want carbon trading international so that governments and Wall Street and the IMF and World Bank can create a giant taxation scheme and a giant social credit scam so that the companies that actually destroy our soil, poison our water, have consolidated our food supply, are patenting life and genetically modifying the foods we eat to be lower in nutrition, to require a heavy pesticide, herbicide, insecticide, and fungicide use. Of course, they own the patents on those products as well. They want to say those are green, right? This is what COP26 is pushing for. All this Green New Deal stuff, Build Back Better, that's what it's about. It's about green energy infrastructure, right? Solar panels from China, batteries that require rare earth minerals like lithium and cobalt. Guess who mines that cobalt? Little child slaves in Africa. We're talking 9-year-old kids hand digging cobalt out of the ground. This is how you get this stuff. Right, you have coup d'etat happening in Bolivia in 2019, backed by U.S. interests, backed by the State Department. Elon Musk made that tweet bragging about it, saying, we'll coup d'etat who we want to coup d'etat. They have the biggest lithium reserves in perhaps the world over there in Bolivia. This is what it's about. It's about resources. Same with Afghanistan, massive lithium reserves. All this green energy, none of this is actually green. None of this actually helps the planet. That's my point. It's all about scams. Shams and scams. Icelandic startup Bill Gates uses to turn carbon dioxide into stone. Preventing emissions from smokestacks can be done for as little as $25 a ton, while pulling them directly from the air can cost $600 a ton. So they want carbon dioxide, and we're going to deposit that in the ground. We're going to put it in rocks. Carbon capture technology. It's been around for decades. Here's why it hasn't taken off. Oh, we need this. We need this so badly. Carbon capture. All right, get the Extinction Rebellion. The Animal Rebellion. And this is what they do. They glue themselves together outside of banks. They block traffic. And what do they say? What are they demanding? Climate action. Just take action. The government and corporations should do something. This is astroturfing. A fake revolution. Look at these foolish people. We need more than 2 guys to move that one. Look at the vacancy. It's like dissociative people. But they're saving the planet, right? By going limp in the street. Gluing themselves to the ground, super gluing themselves to the street to save the planet. And look, the police put them all on a bus. They catch and release. They catch and release, and they're just having the big party. Oh yeah, act happy. We're so happy. We're saving the planet. They tell these people in their training sessions, they tell them, you have to look happy. You make it seem like a party. Right? You make it seem like a party. This is all from the same people who brought about the color revolutions in Serbia, right? Otpor. It's the same tactics, right? The swarming techniques and whatnot. They use this in Egypt. They use this in all these color revolutions that were funded by the U.S., by the State Department. And now the same style of agitprop is used. So just go limp in the street, make the cops carry you away. The climate's changing. If you just glue your face to the pavement, then the climate's going to stop changing, you guys. Don't you understand? Don't you understand how climate works? If you pay more taxes, the climate won't change. If you glue your face to the street, the climate won't change. Like these people, they're completely dissociative. I mean, you see it in their face, and this is why they use children as well. They like these kids as the face, right? Oh, the children, do it for the children. And look how they dress all these kids up, they put this girl front and center. Oh, look at her, she's like a hippie. She's probably like an 18-year-old girl or something. Malnourished children that they put in front of everyone. We've got a few boomers in the background. We want mostly children up front. Look at this. Draw eyes on your hands and come take a picture. We'll put you in Rolling Stone. This for the planet, right? Protesters gathered in the Netherlands in 2019 with eyes painted on their hands, symbolizing, we are watching you. Oh, man, that's just so activisty. You guys are such activists. I'm going to paint it or a little green. You're like tribal. This is the tribe. This is the global tribe of climate activists. All of them are wearing. They're all brand new clothes too. These are costumes. All right, these activists are costume. This is a photo op. You have like 15 people here. 15 people here for this photo op. This girl's jacket on the left here, that's probably like a $200, $300 jacket. It's trash, but it's probably $200, $300 jacket right there. This girl in the middle here with her like plastic retro 90s jacket, that's not actually from the 90s. That's probably made in 2019 and cost her $190. All right, this little Asian chick with like the jean shirt cut off, and she wrote on the jean shirt, this is fashion, you guys. This is high fashion. You got combined like $10,000 worth of clothing on these 20 whacktivists, slacktivists. But they get free publicity. Why do you think they get so much free publicity? Because what they're doing is they're astroturfing this fake revolution. And what they want to bring about is mandates on your diet, on your behavior, limits on how much carbon emissions you can have per year, and all of your behavior would be linked. All your behavior would be linked to this carbon credit score. Everything we do, linking into consolidated, centralized AI that will determine like what level of carbon dioxide, what level of social benefit, what level of well-being you're experiencing. They'll tell you how happy you are. This is what these people want to bring about. Right? That's what the smart city grid is. Oh, but it's smart, it's green, it's smart, it's green. None of this is good for us. None of this is good for the planet. Just like the diets that these vegan activists tell you to eat, they tell you you're saving the planet with this diet. Stop eating meat, you're saving the planet. Sorry, my internet might have blipped there for a second. Are we good? We still live? Give me a thumbs up if we're still live, bigots. We're still live? We're still on Rockfin? Are we still taking climate action? I think we're still good. We're live. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry, you guys. If you don't take climate action now, then everything's going to fall apart. The whole world's going to end. If we don't censor everybody who's speaking up against us, the whole world's going to end. Right, man. I probably shouldn't even be doing this on YouTube, because I don't know. We're already obviously we're banned to the Shadowlands on YouTube, which is why it's nearly impossible for people to even find the streams over there. Yeah, we are going to. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over there to Rockfin. We're gonna go over there to Rockfin. Look at the bigots supporting on Rockfin. We got big bigot support over there on Rockfin. We're gonna keep talking about. We got a couple more cringe videos to watch over there on Rockfin. You guys jump over there to Rockfin. I'll put the link here. There you go. Full stream, uncensored over on Rockfin. I don't even know if. I think YouTube has been. YouTube has not been liking anybody talking about. They said they're going to demonetize channels that talk about climate, or climate deniers, right? I'm going to demonetize those. I don't like that. That means when they first they demonetize, and then they just ban certain content. So we've been shadow banned to the shadow realms for so long, which is why we gotta ask you guys to share these videos, right? Sign up though. Also, we will notify you when streams are upcoming. Click on the link in the description of the video if you're on YouTube, or if you're on Rockfin, get notified for the upcoming streams. Right? Get notified on our upcoming streams. Click on the link there. On Monday, we're going to have Dr. Thomas Cowan. We're going to be talking about Thomas Cowan, right? Yeah.
Tom Cowan, yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Tom Cowan. We're going to be talking to Dr. Tom Cowan about the germ theory versus terrain theory. Yeah, another completely off limits topic for YouTube. That's going to be on Rockfin exclusively. Yeah. So make sure to go over there to Rockfin. You can make an account for free. You can watch all these videos while we're live for free over there on Rockfin. Plus, we got a bunch of premium content over there as well. All right. If you like these streams, you guys, make sure to support them. Make sure to share the videos, like the videos. I don't know if liking the videos does much for YouTube algorithm anymore. I think it's kind of beyond that point now. People can't even find these videos. I can search the exact title of my video in quotations, and it doesn't even show up in the YouTube search. So, it is what it is, man. All these channels that helped to build this platform. We've been on YouTube for 7 years now. We used to have several hundred people watching during all these streams. YouTube completely cut off our ability to reach our audience, but it is what it is. If you guys want to keep enjoying this stuff, share the videos, like the videos, guys. Share the videos on other platforms. Right? Write out a transcript of the videos by hand. Photocopy those. Put them in all your neighbors' mailboxes. Yeah? Get an overhead projector. Get 5 overhead projectors. Put them in the windows of your vehicle. Okay? Film this with a Super 8 camera, and then drive through your neighborhood with speakers that are blasting the audio and project this all on the outside of your vehicles. Yeah. Buy a giant flat screen TV. Mount it on the top of your carbon neutral vehicle, right? Mount it on the top of your carbon neutral vehicle and drive around. Drive around. Blast out the video. Yeah. All right, guys. So, yeah, Monday, Dr. Thomas Cowan. Go over there to Rockfin, though, guys. If you're over there on Rockfin, make sure to share the videos, too. We're going to be talking about terrain theory on Monday. But, yeah, Rockfin is... Wait, get the link in there. Get my link in there. There we go. We're live on Rockfin. Go watch the stream over there. We're cutting off on YouTube before we get in too much trouble. We've got some more cringe videos from these activists to watch. We'll see you guys over there. Thanks for watching YouTube. But also, go over there to Rockfin, because the show's not over. See you over there. Just going to stop the stream on YouTube here. Bear with me for a second on Rockfin.